Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? It's Thursday night. It's 7:30. Welcome to Keep On Reefing Thursdays. What do you guys have going on tonight, my friends? One of the things I want to get into tonight is we are bringing in one of my all-time favorite people, and I feel like he's the spokesperson when it comes down to aquaculture and everything he's done over the last few years, and especially the last year. It's just awesome. I love watching it. I love seeing where it's going. I'm talking about Richard D. Back from the Afishionado Channel. If you haven't checked out his YouTube videos, make sure you check out his YouTube videos. You can't get enough of it because what I love is he's really showing where this industry, where it's going to go. The future is changing. One of the last videos that I absolutely love is the ORA one. I'm going to have him get on to it. He's going to explain a lot that's going on, especially if you haven't seen him. I want you to make sure you check him out. And then we're going to bring in Sean Hale a little bit later on because obviously he's coming down for the Keep On Reefing, and he's got a big announcement for what he's bringing in for a pretty awesome raffle prize. And anyone that doesn't know, everything we're doing for the Keep On Reefing Expo, we're doing May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Is going to be actually going back to two high schools. We're going to do the Marine Magnet School, and we're going to do the Coventry High School. So all that money's being donated, especially towards when it comes down to reef and aquaculture systems. Because let's face it, we all know that's where it began. It begins for all of us back that far back. When you get into it in high school, as you get into it as a little kid, and you get into it in high school and you start really playing with it, you decide what you want to do. I always tell everyone, it's when you're a kid, you talk about, oh, I want to do this when I grow up. And then you change, and I don't want that. I want people to say, like, they give up, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to give up. I want you to say, when you're a little kid, I want to be in this industry, I want to be a marine biologist, I want to be part of aquaculture, and I want you to be able to do that. So that's why I feel like it's so important to give back to that. What do you guys got going on tonight? I'm rocking, hey Ken, what's up, man? I'm rocking my Aqua Shella shirt. I'm getting ready for Dallas is coming up at the end of the month. What is happening? Oh, I'm so pumped up tonight. Let's see, there's Richard. Richard, where you at, buddy? Come hang out with me, buddy. Let's see if I can invite you in here. Oh, let's hit that magic ad. I like bringing him in. I pretend like I'm doing, oh, like that. What are you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man?
What is up, brother? So Richard and I were just talking. I just brought him into a private chat ahead of time. We were talking all about it. And anyone that doesn't know Richard, I always act like, you know what I'm saying? But do me a favor, Richard. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Richard Back. I run a small channel called Afishionado, and I work for a I work for a good publication company called Reef.com, where we bring the information and the latest news about everything about reefing and products and etc.
No, it's exactly it. And then, all right, last time I showed you guys Richard. It was over a year ago. All right, I brought Richard in, and this is way back. And Richard was really like getting onto the aquaculture scene. At the time, it's pretty things. But within the last year, if you check out the Afishionado channel on YouTube or you can find it here on Facebook, you can see the amazing content he's put out with the sustainability and where we're kind of see this industry go. As we see, things are changing. This world is changing. And we have to move forward, and we want to keep as much of it as possible, but we want to keep it for the right things. We want to understand sustainability. We want to see aquaculture. Rich, you want to kind of explain about where you're going with that?
Well, the last year, every year I kind of have a goal of where I want my channel to go. And the last few years, what's weighing heavy in my heart is full concentration on aquaculture and basically promoting sustainability. And as you know, Scott, there is a lot of negativity that's surrounding our hobby that, like we are basically raping our ocean. We're not doing, what we can to preserve what we can. And it's, like up to a certain part, yes, I could understand where they're coming from, but for the most part, it's not accurate. Our hobby is extremely sustainable. But thing is that, does our fellow hobbyists know that? That was my main question. So basically, I got into a lot of different conversation with many different people that's in this industry, and instead of just trying to go for the views and stuff like that with fancy corals or etc., I decided to go on the science side of the aspect because in the end, numbers don't lie, science doesn't lie. It's the proof is in the pudding. So I really made it into an effort to visit all the different facilities that I possibly can. I drove hours and hours on end just to get the right information, because I would like to provide the right information so that in case you ever get into a conversation with non-hobbyist, then you are well informed enough to represent our hobby like you should, to present them with the right amount of data, so that you could I think it's so important, because I was talking to Charlie Varon and Magna, and we the hobbyists are so important, because if we don't fight for our ocean, who else would?
Right.
Our ocean is declining, and we need to stand up for our ocean, and we need to do our part. And it is so important for us to know what is going around in the world and what's going around in our hobby. And right now, we're living in such an amazing time right now. Before, it used to be like aquaculture fish would come maybe once a year, once every other year. I mean, look at 2 years ago, like Poma Lab just introduced like 9 fish at the same time. That's amazing, Look at Biota. They're getting different clams. They have hybrid clams. It's how amazing is that? We're living in an amazing time right now.
I totally agree with you. The world we're living in right now is so amazing, and understanding and trying to beat that old school mentality of, like you said, ripping from the oceans, and having people thinking like that, because a lot of people do think like that, hobbyists coming into it, and a lot of people don't really know. But the aquaculture scene is becoming the new scene. We are seeing more and more of it. Now, is it 100% now? No, it's not. How, after you've seen, like, the ORA video, I mean, that one was, like, the one that got to me, you know what I'm saying? Want to do kind of an explain, like what you saw there, how big that facility was, and where you see it going from there?
Well, the ORA has been the biggest facility, I believe, in the whole, like, North America, at least.
Yep.
I mean, the way that they have set up is so efficient. I mean, they're using natural sunlight. They don't even have, like, they don't have power heads. They have a Carlson surge devices that floats water up and then release all at once to create that tidal wave.
Crazy.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like they're mimicking the nature so well, and they're utilizing what we have available at all times, which is sun. So I mean, it's I could only see things getting much better, and watching them do, and then talking with them. I mean, I'm just so excited right now. Some of the stuff that they're working with is just amazing. Also, Scott, you're a store owner. What are the most what are the fish that you sell most? Probably like damsels and clownfish, right?
Yeah, clownfish, dotty backs, things like that.
Right.
Blenny species.
Those they fly out the shell. I mean, they go out of the tank like crazy, and they're working on damsels and stuff like that, so they don't have to like take them out of the ocean.
Yeah, no,
I mean, like,
I love that, especially
crazy.
like as a store owner, because like, all right, when people want that first fish, when you move them on to like, dotty backs, certain blennies and things like that. It's just a cool species, but you can start them off fairly new, fairly easy, especially with the newer tanks out there, the yellow ones, even our tank systems have become more modern, which I absolutely love. But it's really stepping forward the game. The old school mentality of that major fish loss, we're not seeing that even close to what it was.
Yeah. And what's important, what improvement that I have been seeing lately is when I first got into the hobby, ORA first released like the mandarins. And at that time, they had to discontinue it because a lot of hobbyists would not support aquaculture, or, like captive bred species, because they're the cost. But now everybody is understanding the importance of captive breeding and aquaculture. And now they're starting to support and purchase, mandarins, like yellow tangs, that's coming out from Hawaii. They've been getting all of those captive bred and aquaculture pieces for them to, like, get that funds that they need to continue their research for more species and more, diversity.
Because that mentality's changing. That mentality, like, let's take a yellow tang for an example. Yellow tang, I think, is the things. That old school mentality of a yellow tang being worth $20 is gone. And then the newer person coming into the industry will never know that a yellow tang was even 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, even coral, right? Frags. You'll never understand. Like, we see a lot of, frags. And we see this. We talked about this over a year ago, where we were worried about people were going to get into, but no, frags are part of it, and they expect a little frag, and they want to turn it into a colony,
Right. Because, like, you get that sense of accomplishment from growing a little nub into a massive colony, So, I mean, I think it's a great thing, I mean, I think a hobby is evolving, and I think it's turning for the better. It's just that I wish that that as a hobbyist will stand up as one, so that it doesn't come and like too fast. Like it's not regulated too heavily.
Yep.
So that thing is that as much as I want 100% aquaculture, it's just not feasible at the moment. And if we get cut off on everything, we had an issue with Fiji, we had an issue with
Yes.
Hawaii, we had an issue with with in Indonesia. Like if more places shut down, there's rumors even with Australia at the moment, and if things start getting banned, I mean, it's really bad for the hobby, and then I think right now is more is if not more if it's not more important than last year. I mean, I think it's way more important now for
Yes.
everybody to jump on board and just focus on aquaculture.
This is probably the most important time, because
Mm-hmm.
to focus on more on aquaculture, we still need time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
we can't just say, all right, let's go all aquaculture and everything right now. We would love to. We would absolutely love to say that, but that's not realistic, because we need time to bring in, to
We won't be
keep
able
it
to
going.
meet the demand.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's what it is. It's just we
Yeah.
would never be able to keep up with it.
Yeah, but the thing is that what a lot of people they don't understand is that like everything is controlled. We don't just take everything out of the ocean. There's for example, for Fiji, we only took out 1% of the ocean, 1%. Scientists will go out every year and they'll measure how much corals that they have, and they'll just estimate, okay, you guys will able to get this much CITES to export, and that will equal to 1%, and that's enough for them to regrow back, plus more.